All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are actually going to pick up right where we left off, which is in the middle of rational expressions and functions. And we're going to get started with lesson number 63, which is adding and subtracting rational expressions. So basically what you have here is a platform that will allow you to see the slides that Mr. Talton and I have already created. And remember, at any point you can stop in order to write. You can stop to rewind or whatever you need to do to ensure that you're getting all the information. I will be kind of watching the time to make sure that the videos stay around 5 minutes. So it'll be chunked at one time. And I'll make sure that you know like what's video number 1, what's video number 2, so forth and so on, so that you can keep up with the mix. If you have any questions, be sure to post them in Google Classroom, because right now that's really the best way to communicate, because someone else may have the same question and we can try to get those questions answered for you as soon as possible. So please make sure that you pause the video when you need to, and remember that your notes will be a grade. So after you have taken your notes, you will need to take a picture and upload to Google Classroom. So once you're ready to go on, you can stop the video now, and then when you're ready to move forward, go on to the next slide. Our question is, of course, how do we add and subtract rational expressions? So this slide is pretty much the majority of the writing that you're going to do. We're talking about adding and subtracting rational expressions, and let's just kind of go back. And before you can do the addition and subtraction, you have to talk about what the least common denominator or the least common multiple is. We look at that when we look at regular fractions, but now these fractions are going to include variables, so we need to make sure that we understand exactly what the least common multiple and the least common denominator are. So to add or subtract rational expressions with unlike denominators, you must find the least common denominator. The least common denominator is the least common multiple of the denominators. So to find the LCM, you need to factor the terms and then find the product of the highest value of each factor. So we're going to go through a few examples of you finding those values. And then after we have practiced that, then you will have the opportunity to begin to do the actual addition and subtraction. But the bulk of the information is adding and subtracting. Adding and subtracting rational expressions is making sure you can find that least common multiple, because that's what's going to set you up to make the problem more feasible. So go ahead and pause the video now, and when you are ready, push play again and move on to the next slide.